Alright, what's up y'all, LakerFan here. As you can about today's video, we have the classic on the channel, things nobody wants you to know on defense in NBA 2K26. So, as you can see, we have a list of bullet points right here. In the green, I have IQ diff. I'll put it like that. Like where if you just are someone that takes this knowledge and applies it to your own gameplay, it will just simply improve you as a player, straight up, as simple as that. In the red, I have mechanical skill difference things where like you taking these types of suggestions and applying it to your own gameplay and learning how to apply that to you and your specific build can help you as a player as well. So whether it's mechanical skill or just intelligence stuff that we're trying to provide you guys with, I hope you enjoy the video. And if you do, feel free to drop a like, sub if you're new to noties, all good stuff. And like always, try this let's go for 2,000 likes on this. This is always a banger on the channel. And if you guys can help support it and help more people see this as well, I'd really appreciate it. But anyway, what I'm gonna do in this video, first of all, is go over all these bullet points and kind of explain them in my own personal opinion. And then I'll have footage that kind of details all of them later in the video. But I want to just take you guys through the notes real quick and just discuss in a brief little, quick segment on each of them what these bullet points mean. So let's just start off with a little bit of a myth that I've believed in for a long time, and everybody always responds to this after they've tried it themselves and believes it as well, that holding your Y or triangle on rebounds, chase downs, jump contests, whatever makes your player jump, holding Y instead of tapping it makes you jump longer or higher, if you will. That's just my personal belief. That's what I've believed in every single year of 2K, and it really has felt that way ever since I've, started doing it back in 2K17 for that matter. So for those who have believed in this over the past couple of years and stuff like that, they've taken this type of information and ran with it. If you've watched my videos in the past of this things nobody wants you to know on defense, I've talked about this pretty much every year, and we keep adding people to the cult of this a little bit. So yeah, it's an interesting definitely concept to get behind, and I do believe in it 100%. Now, moving along to the next bullet point, we have icon switching. This is a huge deal if you're someone that plays matchups in this game, like for instance in Park, or what I really want to put y'all onto this with is Rec Center. I'm going to pull up a clip of this eventually, and actually, you know what, let's just do it right now. We'll go through this kind of one at a time and knock out some things as we kind of go down the list. So I'll skip all the BS and just kind of get straight to the point. You'll see on the defense right here, I'm lined up at point guard, and my boy Kitchen is lined up at the 2. Dirty Joe here is lined up at the 3. Now for these meta style lineups right here, right, where it's a guard, lock, center. Boom, it's like a small guard that's fading from 3, a pure lockdown that's just a corner spot up, and then a center that is setting the screens in tandem with this point guard to try and force switches. So where do I want to be in this situation where I'm the second best defender on the court, Kitchen's the best defender on the court, and then Dirty Joe right here doesn't really fit into the picture as far as like a perimeter defender or anything like that? He's going to guard the pure lockdown spot up, I'm going to guard the big man, and Kitchen is going to guard the point guard. Now, all of these are icon switches. I'm technically at the A button or point guard position. Kitchen is technically lined up at the B button or the shooting guard position, and Joe here is technically at the 3 lined up at X. Essentially. So what we're going to do instead is, as you can see, I have my icons up. In order to do this, you're going to hit your right bumper and then press the button of the person you want to be guarding. So simply doing that, where I switch mine to X and then Kitchen right here is going to switch his to A, that now makes that our matchup for the entire game. It's actually a crazy thing they've added to this game, where if you do that on 2s, for instance, these icon switches save from possession to possession. So what I wanted to tell y'all about that especially was for those of you out there with, let's say if you're tapped into my channel, I've shown Kitchen on this 99 block lockdown build right here, where it's elite for guarding the stretch bigs, the 7-4, stuff like that. If you're in the rec center and you have someone on your team that's just sagging off on that dude, not guarding him well, and you think he'd be better off guarding someone that's a little bit more of a lockdown spot up that isn't moving anywhere on the court, you can simply hit your right bumper and hit the icon of that stretch big that you want to take that upon yourself to guard him, and it'll just set your arrow, it'll set your teammate's arrow up to guard somebody else instead. And if they go along with that or not in the random rec, I'm not sure, to be fair, but I wanted to at least put you onto that in case you are someone that should be matched up on him, or maybe if you're someone that actually hops in game chat, stuff like that, you could tell the guy, yo, I think I should switch to him, and boom, you'll have the arrow switched permanently from that point. And for 2v2, if you do this type of arrow switching, it'll actually keep the matchups permanently. I'm someone that's cheesed this in the past, where I make my build at small forward and play with power forwards so that me as a slasher lines up at the point guard and small players have to deal with me, and then the big players have to guard my stretch big teammate. So I'm going to use this clip as a decent example. I wanted to use the initial one off the intros and stuff to show you where we lined up for the positions and stuff and talk about the roles, but in this case now it's Tonic in the same role as we just talked about Dirty Joe, where Tonic is wanting to guard the lockdown spot up that is right here, and then we want Bonnie on ball with me on the big man. Now why I want to use this clip is because it talks about the pre-switch really well also. So you're going to see the arrow manipulation that I also talk about, where if the point guard runs to my side of the screen right here, I'm going to set up my RBA instantly. As you can see, boom, popping up that right bumper and hitting my A button. It's going to put my arrow on the point guard and put Bonnie's arrow on the big man. And we have now a good pre-switch right here, while also having the icon switched, where it's going to make my arrow not, pull me toward the big man or anything like that. It's going to have me and my arrow getting pulled to the point guard instead right there. So definitely keep that arrow manipulation, the icons and stuff in mind, and definitely the pre-switch as well, because what I want to tell you guys about the pre-switch right here is that when this big man rolls, I want Bonnie to get back and in front of the big man before his roll, because now my job, as soon as that guard comes to the right side of the screen, is that I am going to be committed to the PG no matter what. If you have teammates and you want to introduce this concept to them, it's an easy way to guard everything in the pick and roll while not giving up easy rebound positioning, box outs, wide open, paint baskets on the rolls and stuff like that. Because honestly, what mediocre teams and bad defenders will do in this pick and roll defense right here is play high and play sides. And when you play left of a screen, what you get kind of left with is a lot of times they get nervous about the point guard scoring, so they play way too high and way too up right here, and they give up the free slip. And then boom, now you either have a great pass option to the big man while Bonnie would have been up tighter and not back in time, or again, he would have great box out position, and if this guard just shoots on my head, the big man has great box out and ability to seal off everything else on the court and have that rebound. But in this case right here, you can see Bonnie is in anticipation of when this big man rolls, he's going to take him, and boom, he's back in time, gets back in front, gets a great contest. That is pre-switch to a T right there, as well as in tandem showing you how the icon switching and stuff like that works as well. Okay, so that knocks out about 2 of those bullet points right there that are all both just, kind of IQ gap. Like I said, you just knowing that simply is a huge difference as far as, the icon switching and the pre-switching and stuff like that as well. The pre-switching is more something you're going to have to suggest to your boys, though, if you play with a squad. And obviously, it's something you can't really apply to playing with randoms or anything like that. So just keep that in mind. Obviously, it's something that's a little bit more communication-based. It's more of a team chemistry thing, if you will. Now, moving along, we have bait defense from the corner and just in general, bait defense. Let me pull up the clips of showing you guys this. Alright, so what I want to do is just show you guys me impacting the game on off-ball defense. You're going to see in this clip compilation, it's going to be a whole lot of that. So let's go ahead and let this one play out. As you can see, I'm just sagging off and going to a range that I feel like I can bait down enough while also still being able to return to my man on a jump contest every single time. You're going to see me in this whole compilation. I'll just let it all play out. I won't really pause anything. Just only showing as low as I can possibly go while still returning to my guy. Some would call it baiting masterfully, if you will. And you can, kind of do the figuring out of the prefix, suffix of that as well. But anyway, hey, point being is, I'm trying to be one of the best baiters in the game right here. And as you can see, sagging down, making it just a pain for them on offense. Really just trying to show them, like, hey, throw it to my guy. Throw it to my guy. Throw it to my guy. And just forcing them to keep on doing that over and over again. And then also telling my person that I'm guarding, hey, you should shoot this. You should shoot this. And then boom. You shouldn't shoot this, like right here, baiting low, boom, fly out, jump. Now, hey, I only have 74 block rating, and I have good vertical on this build as well. So for those of you out there that were once again in, reference to that kitchen lock that's on ball right here, or the build that Connor's on as well, on a 99 block lockdown that has Legend Challenger at 6'9" with a nearly max wingspan, or it is a max wingspan for that matter. All of that in mind, I think is very well worth knowing that you can get even better contests on that as well. Now, keep in mind, this guy's doing the same thing to me, and as you can see, I just go ahead and throw to Bonnie. This is the counter to it. You gotta obviously know that you can't afford to do this against people that know you're doing it. So, if you see people waiting out your jumps and stuff like that in the future, just don't do it. Because as you can see, Bonnie right here waiting out the jumps, it's a really comp play and a really good counter to that style of defense. So, just catch on a little bit, obviously, right? You don't want to overdo it, but I will tell you this much, fellas. You'll see me doing it a lot, an absolute lot. Also, as we just kind of wanted to mention, it's a little bit later in the video, but you will see in reference to me contesting a lot of those 7-4s and stuff like that, or any of my teammates contesting the 7-4s, I do think in order to do so, you need to be around 6'8" to 6'10", maybe even 6'11" for that matter. But having a decent level of perimeter defense and challenger while also having good height as well. Now, again, jump contests are elite in this game. I cannot stress enough how important they are, how powerful they are, how really almost even broken it feels. Look at this. Like, I'm looking at my teammates right there, and low-key, the pick and roll is looking kind of open. I mean, as you can see, he's trying to split the difference between the sides right here. Boom, there's a gap in this. Now Bonnie's playing high, Connor's playing low. They're out here jumping for joy, kind of giving up a lot of stuff right here. So I'm just trying to bait and distract the point guard. As you can see, low-key did, because the PG had a lot of open opportunities right there. But now I just bait the ball into the corner's hands, and now the corner thinks he's going to shoot the ball. Now it's off of him as well. Once again, off him again, and now we get the ball back. Just off of me playing crazy bait defense off the corner. So once again, right here, I see a lot of stuff's going on. He's moving away from the court that I'm on, or away from the side of the court that I'm on. I bait down, get an 83% contest. Now, also, I do want to mention one other thing, and we'll kind of get to that bullet point. But look at this. Once again, bait D, right? Like, the point guard's moving back to the hash, getting a really good opportunity at getting that basket. As you can see, they go for the lane and the jump off that. I bait this, and what I call this right here is playing tag. I want to really detail this to you guys. So I think this is more applicable in Pro-Am, for instance. If you're baiting off of the corner to the wing that's wide open, if let's say someone on your team was pinching off the hash and pinching that point guard that's operating from the middle of the court, and you on that same side of the corner toward the hash want to play like this, you could do it as well. But in this case, I'm showing you the park utilization of it. Now, obviously, the point guard has a wide open basket right here, or not even a wide open basket, but because he got jumped at in the paint, he's going to have a wide open three-pointer on the wing right here. So instead, I am running to this with the intention, obviously you can tell because I ran back to the corner instead right after. But this is playing tag. This is my concept that I'd like to think I'm not going to say I invented, but, you know, if I would have came around a little longer ago, like in the 1940s, I probably would have invented it. It's just, you know, other people are on this earth a little bit sooner than me, so they come up with the same idea of what the things that I naturally do as well. But anyway, as you can see, fake step toward the point guard, bait him into passing instead of shooting, but with the intention of knowing that as long as I bait this hard, I at least have a chance of baiting him to pass to my guy, and if I cover just enough ground as I can get back to the contest, and let alone as much as it's more than a contest, I block the freaking jump shot while baiting the point guard to not take the shot. That's elite off-ball defense. Once again, bait him away from the drive, instead he passes it. Now he had a wide open drive, didn't have anything. Now once again, he thinks he has a pass, doesn't have it. I'm literally baiting them the whole play and stalling out their offense. Once again, baited to the corner, didn't shoot it. Now they have 3 seconds left, and I'm here to drop. Boom. That is, I don't have a lockdown build or anything like that. I'm literally running point guard and score every single point on our team except for, like, you know, the ones that I assist people to. But I'm running the whole offense with 2 lockdowns, and instead, I'm just playing true blue bait defense everywhere. Now, I will say, against these 7-4s, I don't think you want to play a lot of bait, but as you can see, this guy setting up for the shots. Now, I will say, you can still contest 7-4s, very solid, but you absolutely want to be squared up with them. And not to mention, I think just seeing them do some breakdowns like this, you'll definitely pick up on this if you play a bunch of them. If they have the ball in an active dribble, they will do step back animations like this, stuff like that. If they don't have it in an active dribble, they'll do jab steps. They'll flick up on their stick trying to either A, crab you, or B, just get you to move back. And, like, you know, they'll be flicking up, like just pushing you back a little bit, and then boom, rise up and shoot. Now, you definitely want to catch on to the rhythm of what they shoot off of, because jumping at them is very important. But as you can see, I think what's also important is being squared up with them. I've seen so many people who get even higher on this, and myself included, you know, with the jump contest that I get. But I've seen so many people who get way higher and way closer to their release point and stuff like that. But what I think is more important is being centralized right squared up in front of them when you contest them. You do not want to be off to the side or anything like that when you start the defense. I think being on them as they gather is a very important thing to do as well. But anyway, I have so many clips of playing elite off-ball defense in this. We're not even halfway through it pretty much, but I'm sure a lot of you guys don't want to just see this the whole clip, so I'll just let it play out for a little bit longer. But yeah, we don't have to show the whole thing or anything like that. But once again, just going to be baiting off the corner. As you can see, I'm just daring them to throw to my guy, and also baiting terrible shot selections as well. Now, if you want to hate on it and say that's a terrible feature in the game, listen, fellas, the contest system is rough in this game, when you can bait people into taking terrible shots and making terrible passes while also just inherently getting a 30 or 40% contest in this game, absolutely take it. I mean, dude, I'm out here blocking jump shots consistently for that matter. Now, unfortunately, sometimes it does lead to stuff like that where if you do get blocks on the perimeter, it might lead to your team being unprepared to grab the loose balls and, you know, defensive rebounds and stuff like that. So it may lead to wide open threes instead. But anyway, once again, just want to show he hits me with a snatchback right there. Boom, get that out of here, bro. Like, realistically, what else is he gonna do? You mean tell me he's not gonna shoot off a step back that he just killed me on like that? And also, by the way, I want to tell y'all something too about the bullet points that we had later in this. It's about two-way tenacity. When you have two-way tenacity, put it to use. If you don't know what this is, because I've been seeing a lot of people talking about it in my videos, that they don't know what I'm talking about with two-way tenacity, because maybe they're new to 2K and they haven't played the last year or two. What two-way tenacity is, it's a rep reward that you get at starter 1. So when you get this, essentially when you get a dunk, a drive and kick assist, ankle breaker, anything that activates it on offense, like for rewarding you for what you did on offense, it will then give you two-way tenacity on defense. So it boosts up your attributes like crazy. Some say it's a boost of 20 on all your ratings. I think it actually is possibly true, and it really is even more overpowered than its, you know, partner in crime heat check that a lot of people hype up as something crazy. But really, you just like, unless you green 3 shots and then the 4th one you like get a big boost on the shooting. I think this is way more overpowered if you ask me. For someone like me that gets a ton of dunks, a ton of, you know, drives into floaters, ankle breakers, stuff like that, or blocks on defense into then it boosting you on offense, this is a really overpowered ability, and to get it at starter 1 very early in the game is really nice. So again, to kind of pivot back to that real quick, understand that in two-way tenacity, they might underestimate you because they don't really know the true powers of your build. They might just see a 6'10" it's in the you know, pregame intros and stuff like that. They might just see a 6'10". They might already have the preconceived notion of what a 6'10" is even capable of as far as its movement speed. They'll be like, oh, okay, 6'10s have around like, you know, 74 to 78 speed, something like that. Maybe even 80 if it's crazy. But like, you know, the defensive abilities of like the perimeter shouldn't be that high. But then all of a sudden, because they don't even really, you know, remember what activates it, or even know for that matter what activates it, now you just come out here, get killed off a step back right here, right? And then boom, all of a sudden you got crazy jump contestability and you're blocking their jump shot. They don't even know that you're capable of it. And a lot of that applies to the clips that I've been showing you guys as well with the off-ball defense, right? Like, I mean, not that one really matters. That's just, you know, knocking it off my head. Doesn't really matter entirely. And then I believe I get a bump steal off this as well, just kind of running into him. But point being is, they'll underestimate you a lot. And again, that in tandem with our off-ball defense bullet point right here is like a huge thing in my opinion. And again, crazy, you know, jump contestability on the build. So next up, we have trappers. Now this has returned in 2K as a pretty like, you know, thing that pops up pretty consistently. Shout out to this dude right here. I actually don't really know who he is too much, but I just seen it from my boys that sent it to me, and I wanted to use his clip as, you know, means of actually kind of showing you guys how it works. So simply put, Trapper, and once again, shout out to him. I am not too familiar with his page or anything like that, but a lot of comp stage dudes will do this, right? You hold L1 or LB, boom, you force a pickup on the point guard. Now, I will be real with you guys. This does not pop up every single time you do it, like the guy right here is kind of trying to, you know, lead you on to believing. I don't really know why that is, or maybe I'm not as informed, and if some really comp dude wants to hop in the comments and tell me why the activation of Trapper is, you know, not popping up consistently for me, feel free to let me know. I don't know if one guy needs to do this or both need to do it. I'm pretty sure it's just the one that is sending the double team needs to do it, but point being is, trappers, they can really just give people problems in the pick and rolls. If you got some dude that's ball hogging stuff, being a real, like, you know, pain right here, like this dude's not hitting slip or anything like that, you want to make him pay for not hitting that slip consistently on the first look, just hit him with that LB, and then boom, I mean, that's a crazy shot, by the way. And as you can see, the dude swoops in and grabs the rebound. So that's great optimization out of that. And again, if they're not hitting the big and they're not hitting the slip, your off-ball defender could be playing some 2-on-1s and really make a lot of a big difference off ball. The same way I was just showing you playing bait defense, you could play 2 off the corner and kind of get in people's mind a little bit as they're just getting stuck in that trapper. And the trappers force you into slow pass animations as well. So again, shout out to him for the clip right here. I just wanted to go ahead and put you guys onto that because I do believe it's something well worth making mention of, but I didn't have a ton of clips myself, so I just wanted to, you know, yoink someone's clip off Twitter, essentially. Now, next up, we have playing lanes in a game with so many bumps. Wait for the bump animations to end, then anticipate the steal. it'll still take the pass input however long ago they tried to. Now, if you're not familiar with what this concept looks like, let me pull up a clip once again for you guys. Okay, so this is not necessarily a bump, but it's also something I still want to talk about more than just the bump animations. It's getting stuck in a dribble move and not being able to do your pass input. Now, this is another reason why I think super long, extensive dribble moves, even if you're someone that's not a dribble head, having something like this in your animations can be very problematic. So look at this. He does the longest step back animation I've ever seen, but the thing is, as I'm playing off-ball D, I'm seeing that and understanding that this dude probably already tried to throw this pass right here. Like, this is not him having bad vision or anything like that, it's him having a terrible dribble move. He probably sees this, was just flicked down on a stick, but now he's trying to pass over here. But the thing is, you are stuck in this dribble animation until it ends. It will not cancel. So instead, as you can see, I was able to wait over here, get over here, and as soon as that animation ends and he gets out of that step back entirely, right there, boom, here comes the pass. I tap my X button, and unfortunately I don't grab the steal because I do only have bronze interceptor and 60 steal at the end of the day. But it's the thought that counts of what I'm talking about, right? Of just showing you the ability to play the passing lanes, essentially, and understanding the dribble moves and stuff like that. So it's actually kind of funny. This wasn't even the intention of this clip right here, but actually what is shown is Bonnie gets a bump animation, and as you can see, the pass ends up happening to the wing, and exactly what I'm talking about, where he tried to probably pass that sooner but got stuck in a bump. Then Connor plays the passing lane right there. Once again, didn't get it though. So now, as he gets the ball back, I'm hawking him in the other corner, and now he's stuck, you know, throwing that pass as well. Now, sometimes, I just want to show you guys a couple of clips of me playing passing lanes as well. There will be some where you just anticipating things can be pretty nice, or in tandem, once again, with the bait defense can be really good as well. So, again, just going to let this play out, showing you guys the passing lane animations. And once again, two-way tenacity, by the way. I had it on defense into offense. Now I got it on defense again off that step back 3. So let's go ahead and just keep showing some passing lanes right here. I'm going to be just continuously baiting off of the corner. As you're going to see, I kind of take a quick step down, bait him into throwing to my guy, boom, wait for that dribble animation to finish, and just play the lane. And mind you, I only have 60 steal, bronze interceptor. It's absolutely a capable thing you can do in this game. Again, once just, you know, dropping down, baiting, playing the lane. And if I miss it, it's not the end of the world. The worst thing that could happen is my guy cuts, but realistically, not gonna happen too often in the park stuff. Right there, just a random lane. You can obviously, like, I would like to think full court pressing people in park is very powerful. I mean, I'm not here to say it's something I do super consistently, but you can make, you know, some people's life a pain very consistently while doing so. And this right here is a good example of the waiting out the bump animations that I'm talking about. So my boy Waff right here, getting real bumpy on ball, and as you can see, gets one from behind right there. Now, I see that, and once again, I was already baiting down quite a bit to try and bait him into throwing to my guy, and I was going to just hit him with like a the bait into the jump contest. But instead, I see the bump happen right here, and what I'm gonna go for instead is the passing lane as soon as he gets out of it. Boom, and there we are, getting right into that. And man, when you know that type of stuff, it is a difference maker in terms of playing passing lanes in 2K. And imagine you with 85 steal or something like that and gold interceptor as opposed to my 60 and bronze interceptor. Okay, so we went over a lot of footage stuff that I'm here to show you guys. I, you know, obviously had clips of the bait defense, the trapper. Well, shout out to, you know, this dude right here once again. I'm not sure how you say this, to be real with you. That's why I keep calling him this dude. But shout out to him for the trapper clip. We showed you the clip of that. The bait defense, the passing lanes, the icon switching and the pre-switch and stuff like that. I do have chase downs that I will show you toward the end of the video. I just wanted to still hit some of these bullet points before we get way too far into this. But yeah, I will trace back to that chase down blocks and see if you think the same thing about if my player's just getting crazier chase downs than yours, and if so, maybe try the holding Y. But anyway, I wanted to talk about some strategic things in this game and what you maybe need to, like, you know, be kind of put onto a little bit. So, as you can see, in my opinion, I think you need to be switchable in this game. Whether it's for not having to fight through screens in the first place, like when the small guards are coming out here using a ton of screens and just fading and stuff like that. Fighting through screens as a 6'6", 6'5" lockdown, that is so problematic, and it's so hard to do in this game, and to do for such a long time, in my opinion, is already hard enough. Then, when you're a short player, not only is it something where just inherently your ability is to try and fight through those screens, but if you can't do it and you have to switch onto a big, you better believe you're not getting a contest on a 7-4 as a 6'6" lockdown in this game. I don't care what perimeter you got. I don't care what your block is. I don't care what your wingspan is. You're not getting a contest on the 7-4. You need to be 6'8", 6'9", 6'10" in order to do so. And in my opinion, the switchable lockdowns are by far the meta in this game, because not only are they good for guarding the stretch bigs, but they can also still guard the shifty small guards. You know, if you're trying to be a 6'10", 6'11", or something like that, and you want to guard the stretches, well, what if you get put into the screen that stretch big is setting? You know, he could be setting screens with a guard as well. And now if you have to switch on to the guard as a 6'11" or a 7 foot, something like that, or God forbid, as a 7'4" on defense, you have to switch on to a 6'2" guard or something like that. You can't do it. You're not going to be able to. So defensively, it's really important to be somewhere around that 6'7", 8, 9, 10 range, if you ask me. Now, the even more important thing with that is just, once again, the fact that players being more than a foot apart from each other in height of like the guard and center that might be operating that pick and roll, pick and pop, you being able to guard both of them and having a teammate that also is able to guard both of them leaves them with no option other than just trying to get open and find small little windows in your defensive sides and switch defense. But again, if you reference back to the pre-switch and the icon switching and stuff like that, that'll also help you contain them even more so. And then once again, like the, you know, holding Y on the jump contests, whether it's, you know, getting the good squared up contests on the bigs and stuff like that. I'm trying to drop a lot of gems on you guys in this video, and I know it's gonna be a longer one, but I hope you do enjoy, because a lot of people have been asking for tips of how to play defense in this game. And yeah, I get that I'm yapping and I'm just talking over a lot of stuff, you know, with highlights and just talking over my notes and stuff like that, but I'm here to help you 100%. I'm not here for propaganda. I'm not here to just be like, stretch bigs suck, 7'4s aren't even that good. I'm here to tell you what I've been doing in order to guard them, because they actually haven't been giving me and my boys as much problem, because we have things like, you know, a 6'8" guard that can still hold the ball as a ball handler, and then we have me as a 6'10" point center that's like running the offense, but I'm still a super tall, oversized point guard, so I'm not getting bullied the same way that other point guards are, because I am 6'10" with, you know, silver challenger +1 to gold with like 82 perimeter gold challenger as a 6'10". That's not gonna get shot over very consistently from a 7'4", and it's still fast enough to guard a lot of PGs as well. Anyway, point being, you need to be switchable in this game, and it's such a pain for your back end. If you are someone that can't switch, but your back end defender, aka the other person operating in your pick and roll defense, can switch, but you can't, that's such a pain for them, bro. They could easily just pick up the new guy, play easy defense, but instead they have to not only hedge for your three-pointer that you're giving up off that screen, they have to hedge for the paint that you're giving up off that screen, and while doing all that hedge, they have to return back to their man that's pick and popping, because you can't switch onto him and guard him either. You're making his life so hard for not being able to switch on a screen and just simply get on a new guy that, you know, allows your teammate to pick up your guy. I'm just being real with you. It's a thing in 2K that's existed for so long, and you got to be such a dog on defense to fight through screens and be someone that actually does it well. You got to be a top 1% player, in my opinion, and it's not worth it in most cases. Anyway, I already told you guys, when you have two-way tenacity, put it to use. You will be underestimated 100%. It's absolutely something you should definitely keep in mind. Motion styles, big deal. Now, I'm not going to drop all this info on you guys, because it is behind a paywall that you will need to, you know, pay for a subscription to 2K Labs Premium to see, and I'm not trying to give out their information for free when you're supposed to pay for it. So if you want to use code Laker at checkout on 2K Labs, you can allow yourself to get 20% off, and it'll allow you to just get a subscription. You can look at all this type of stuff with the motion styles. I'm here to tell you this much: it shows so much thorough information. I never understood this. I just checked it out myself recently, and I wanted to put you guys onto it. So what 2K Lab does is they get the top speed that you like essentially run at in terms of like a miles per hour essentially. So it's a lot of the stuff that Toots does in that regard, right? They find the fastest motion styles. However, what 2K Lab also does is they test how long it takes to get into that sprint, and also test how fast you move while jogging, aka when you're not holding RT or anything like that. It's really thorough, really good information, and I'm gonna be real with you, I think in a 2v2 setting or a 3v3 setting, I don't know if the top speed matters so much when it comes to motion styles. I think the quickness of the launch is even more important, because you being able to just like move fast twitch, if you get what I'm saying, is a big deal. Absolutely big deal. So definitely something to look into as far as the motion styles, and I just wanted to put you on to the fact that there's more to it than just the straight line speed that you might see in other tests. And I love Toots. I absolutely love Toots. I'm sure, you know, Labs are obviously in a bit of a rivalry with them and stuff like that. So I'm not here to, like, you know, pick a side too hard, but I just wanted to tell you that this is a lot of useful, like, thorough information that they be putting on and stuff. So I'm looking into that myself. I'm gonna start looking for some motion styles that I want to run, and I heavily encourage you to do so as well. Anyway, moving forward, holding left stick toward the basket while jumping to get vertical contest allows you to, you know, combo up with pogo stick pretty good too. So if you didn't know about this, essentially if you hold your left stick toward the hoop while pressing your jump button, aka Y or triangle, you will get a vertical jump contest. You'll jump straight up in the air. Essentially, it's like in the NBA what avoids fouling and stuff like that, right? And that's also a good way to kind of approach it when it comes to playing like paint defense in this game. However, in this game, when you're getting attacked at on a drive, I think you want to be very aggressive. You don't want to do vertical contests. I think you want to like hold your Y button and like not be holding toward the hoop or anything like that. What this is more for is guarding people below the basket, close shots, stuff like that. Guarding a super tall big man going for a dunk meter, something like that. So that if you jump and it was a wrong timing and they were just pump faking, you can get into another jump quickly because you're just jumping straight up and down rather than for you to be going for an aggressive swat block or anything like that. It's just going to be simply moving up and down, and it's easy to kind of combo in tandem with pogo stick as well. So just wanted to keep you, you know, hip to that. I don't have clips of this next bullet point, but I wanted to at least tell you about it. So essentially, if you see that a guard has greened the jump shot or something like that, or if, you know, they green a layup or anything like that, if you goaltend it, it doesn't give them takeover for that shot. Hey, it's not something that pops up very often, and it's not something you can intentionally do very often, but again, this is tips, this is things nobody wants you to know on defense, you know? I mean, I'm trying to put you on to very incremental, small, detailed things that like maybe can give you the slightest edge, and in this case, that is that, and it's why I didn't really make the cut for the most part. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, if you want to just, you know, very much so gatekeep the opponent's takeover and you see that they green, you can Kevin Garnett that thing and just let it not go through the hoop, essentially. And what it'll do is still give them the points, obviously, but it will not allow them to get the takeover progress for making that shot, which can be a big deal sometimes. So if you want to do a slick little trick right there, it's something you can look into. Anyway, last thing that I wanted to talk about, and while we kind of talk about this, I'll just pull up the clips of the chase down blocks and discuss this defensive styles to use depending on your player's ability. This is more of a suggestion thing. Okay, so what I mean by suggestion of like style you should play on defense, right, is essentially this. It's once again like just knowing your personnel is more so what I mean. So like Bonnie, for instance, and me both being switchable is what allows us to do the pre-switch. Him having the rebounding and stuff like that is what makes us feel comfortable in terms of getting him on a big man. Me being 6'10" is what allows me to feel comfortable guarding the guard. Essentially what I'm getting at is know your limitations. Know if you even helping off the corner is impactful or not. If you don't have great block rating or anything like that, it might not be. Know if you like, you know, going for blitz steals and bump steals and stuff like that is impactful or not, because you might just, you know, not have the recovery ability like this right here to get those blocks. So that's all I really wanted to get at, is just understand your limitations and know your personnel of especially your teammates as well. But anyway, let's talk about these block clips right here. A lot of these you're going to see me holding Y. Now, again, if you guys think that my player is animating like crazy for having 74 block rating and you know, like bronze paint patroller, bronze high flying denier, feel free to try this out. Now, to be fair, I do have two-way in some of these clips, so definitely like my block rating might be soaring through the roof a little bit more than it like should be in comparison. So take that with a bit of a grain of salt, but I just wanted to put you onto this, and if you believe in it, feel free to believe in it. If you don't, then don't. It doesn't matter to me. I'm just trying to suggest a little bit of a myth or a theory to you guys that I've believed in for quite a while. But hey, like I said, just letting the clips play out. Hold Y on your blocks and your jump contest and stuff like that. And any jump contest that you saw from me in this video, I'm holding Y button on. I do very often for rebounds, but sometimes I do only tap it just because, I don't know, either I think that the board is coming to me like, and it's, I just need to like, how do I even put this? It might just be like bouncing toward me like very quickly, and I just think I need to tap it because I think it's going to bounce right into my hands really quick, kind of like a jolt right at my face, and I'm like ready to play it. But and obviously don't take these types of chase down blocks too seriously, because at the end of the day, it's like a park dunk that he's doing a 360 on, so like not really the biggest deal. But yeah, any of these clips that you see me do, just keep in mind that like I'm holding Y button for the most part, but yeah, some rebounds I'm just tapping it. But anyway, right here you can see this is more so just good defense, and then at the very end you're gonna see me just get kind of a disrespectful block, right, because this guy has dribbled out the clock like crazy. Now the clock's winding down, boom, get the jump contest right there. I guess you could say this is something else to keep in mind, is the shot clock in the bottom right. If you play Pro-Am and stuff like that, there will be a setting that you can have where essentially when you're in an actual 5 mode, the shot clock will pop up right here in the cylinder on the free throw. But in this case in Park, you kind of have to pay attention to it in the bottom right. And as you can see, with 1 second left, you know exactly when to jump, and there you go. And again, holding Y on that block in the jump contest. So anyway, that's all for video. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, feel free to drop a like, sub if you're new, turn on noties, all that good stuff. And like always, try to get 2,000 likes. If you made it to the end of the video and you want to show support that you made it to the end, put defense or put D in the comments, show support you made it through. Shout out to you guys for watching this. I know it's like a really popular video every year, so I always want to go hard on this and really like get the best tips I possibly can. And I know some of this might be recycled information to some of you, like the holding Y on the blocks, and like some of you already know about the pre-switching. I haven't talked about it a lot in the recent videos, but it's definitely still been something. And yeah, I mean, a lot of this is still my suggestions that kind of apply more to this game than any, like the switchability and stuff like that. So yeah, if you appreciate this information and you want to drop a like I said, feel free to. I'd really appreciate it. If you like this type of content, I do a lot of it on this channel, so feel free to check in and, you know, tune in a little bit more to the gameplays and stuff like that too, because there'll be a lot of intellectual stuff that I'm talking about in the gameplays that maybe just doesn't really catch it by the title of the video, but a lot of what I talk about in the vid is a lot of the stuff that I'm kind of getting at on this part here. And a lot of it translates to like slasher content and stuff too on the offensive end, or pick and rolls, stuff like that, fives content, whatever it is. So if you're new to the channel, feel free to check out more of the videos. And if you are a consistent viewer and you made it this far and you're still here after all this yapping, then I know you're my kind of guy. So anyway, that's all. And I appreciate you guys for watching. Other than that, take it easy, man. Peace.